Level 1. Surface Web. This is the public web. Searchable, reachable, easy to scrape. Amazon product pages, CNN headlines, Instagram reels. If anyone can open it, anyone can copy it. Forums, company sites, public profiles, cached pages, open directories. If it loads in a normal browser without special access, it lives here. Public data spreads fast. Once personal details circulate, fraud scales fast too. Most attackers do not need a 0 day. They work with what people and companies already left out in the open. A work email, a phone number, an old password dump, even file metadata can give them a head start. Yahoo is still the classic warning. Its 2013 breach hit billions of accounts. Names, emails, hashed passwords, security questions. Old data, still useful for phishing, credential stuffing, and account recovery abuse. Nothing here is hidden. That is exactly the problem. Firewalls do not help much if the data is already public. Right below that public layer is the part most people use every day. Level 2. Deep Web. Most of the web is not public. It is private content behind logins, paywalls, and internal systems. Your email inbox is deep web. Your bank portal is deep web. Your medical records, payroll dashboard, school portal, cloud drive, and company intranet sit here too. This is not some criminal underworld. It is normal private infrastructure. It only feels invisible because search engines are not supposed to index it. Think about a hospital record system, a corporate HR portal, a university site holding exams, grades, and research drafts. None of that belongs in search results. All of it has value, so people go after it. Breach reports keep showing the same pattern. Stolen credentials, phishing, and weak internal security open the door to private systems. Verizon's DBIR has repeatedly shown stolen credentials and phishing among the most common ways attackers first get into private environments. Equifax is the textbook case. In 2017, attackers exploited an unpatched Apache Struts vulnerability and got into highly sensitive consumer data. Social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, and more. Private systems, public fallout. The MoveIt attacks drove home the same lesson years later. A trusted file transfer product became the entry point, and once that private layer cracked open, the damage spread across many organizations at once. Private does not mean safe. It just means it was behind a door. If the deep web is private by design, the next layer is private by routing. Level 3. Tor and onion sites. Tor hides where traffic starts by bouncing it through multiple relays. That can make tracing much harder, but it does not make anyone untouchable. Some people use Tor to reach normal sites more privately, others use onion services that only exist inside Tor. Less visibility, not invisibility. If the operator makes mistakes, investigators can still find them. If a user logs in carelessly, reuses an identity, or leaks metadata, the protection starts to break down. And Tor has legitimate uses. Journalists use it. Whistleblowers use it. Dissidents use it. Newsrooms run secure drop through onion services, so sources can send files with less risk. So no, onion sites are not automatically criminal. But this is also where the dark web got its public image. Silk Road became infamous for drug sales, forged documents, and other illicit listings, all paid for in Bitcoin. Its takedown in 2013 made Tor famous to the wider public. Not because Tor itself was illegal, but because it showed how anonymity tools could support illegal markets at scale. Later forums and marketplaces kept that ecosystem alive. Some focused on privacy and security, others sold scams, malware, or stolen data. Same network, very different uses. Tor is not magic invisibility. It makes tracing harder, not impossible. And just outside that fog are parts of the normal web that were never supposed to be visible in the first place. Level 4. Exposed web. Some iceberg charts call this the Bergy web, but that is not a real technical category. It is just exposed or forgotten content still sitting on the normal web. No Tor needed here. Sometimes all it takes is a search operator, a scan, or a direct URL. This is where you find open directory listings, backup files, forgotten subdomains, test servers, exposed dashboards, and cloud buckets that should never have been public. Google dorking fits here too. Search operators can surface files and directories that were left exposed. Google did not hack them. Someone exposed them. Shodan plays a similar role for internet-connected devices. Cameras, routers, industrial systems, and admin panels can show up simply because they are online and misconfigured. Most of this is not sophisticated hacking. It is ordinary negligence at internet scale. In 2019, Capital One showed how cloud misconfiguration and weak access controls could expose sensitive data at scale. And it keeps happening. Open database, public backup, forgotten repo. A rushed server nobody locked down. Once exposed data gets sorted, priced, and sold, you move into the next layer. Level 5. Darknet markets. These are black markets built around anonymity, reputation, and remote payment. The layout looks familiar on purpose. Product pages, vendor ratings, private messages, refund disputes, escrow, search filters. It borrows the design language of normal e-commerce and repurposes it for illegal trade. Drugs have long dominated many of these markets. So have stolen credentials, payment cards, forged documents, and malware services. Hydra became one of the biggest examples before it was taken down in 2022. It processed enormous amounts of illicit crypto activity and showed how mature these markets had become. Secrecy was not enough. They still had to fake trust. Some used multi-sig escrow, where more than one key was needed to release funds and reduce simple exit scams. Vendors built reputations, buyers checked reviews, markets tried to look stable. Everyone knew they could still vanish overnight through an exit scam or a seizure. That instability is part of the model. One market goes down. Another opens. The names change. The business pattern stays. This is not random chaos. It is organized criminal commerce with customer service features bolted on top. And when centralized markets become easier to seize, some communities drift towards systems that are harder to shut down. Level 6. Decentralized Darknets. Here, the setup changes. Tor still has more recognizable infrastructure. Decentralized Darknets try to spread that risk out. No central server. Fewer obvious switches to pull. I2P is built more for internal anonymous services than normal browsing. In some cases, it can feel faster than Tor. It still depends on the network and the service. Freenet takes a different approach. Data is distributed across participating nodes, which can make content harder to remove once it spreads. Systems like Freenet have been used to mirror censored political and religious material in places with heavy internet controls. ZeroNet pushed a similar idea. Peer-to-peer content, wide mirroring, fewer obvious targets. Takedowns get harder. People use it because there's less to seize. Fewer choke points. But there is a trade-off. In some of these systems, you are not just using the network, you help keep it alive. That helps people get around censorship. It also helps criminal networks survive raids. This is not a bunker, it is a swarm. Hit one point, the rest keeps moving. And then there is the final layer people love to talk about, even though it does not belong on any verified map. Level 7. Mariana's Web. This is internet folklore, not confirmed infrastructure. The myth describes a hidden layer below the dark web, protected by impossible encryption and secret access methods. The myth grew out of forum posts, creepypasta, and misunderstood real-world research. Rumors tie it to intelligence archives, black projects, autonomous surveillance systems, and secret databases too sensitive for the public internet. That is the fantasy, not the evidence. The myth sounds real because it borrows real language, then builds fake systems around it. Mariana's Web is folklore, forum myth dressed up as tech. Use a password manager, use unique passwords, turn on app-based 2FA. The hidden web is not one place. It is private systems, anonymity tools, criminal markets, and myth. Trouble starts when your data leaks into it.